Welcome to Mics on the Mics. Here are the mics.
This is not a cult.
And welcome back, Mics on the Mics, episode 11. What's up, dude?
Hello, Michael Joseph Leonard.
Michael Allen.
Yes, we're back.
We're back. We're here. Football's back too, baby.
Football is back.
We got the Lions. They've been in training camp for, about 2 weeks now?
Yep. As long as, like, your peppermint mocha lattes aren't back or any of that crap, the caramel lattes, I don't want that.
It's not
crap
pumpkin spice time yet?
Yeah, no, I'm not ready to do the apple orchards and shit yet. So let's just keep it.
Yeah, I'm not ready for
football's
fall.
fine.
I'm enjoying the summer right now.
Yes. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be back. We had a couple weeks off. I'm happy to get back. I'm happy to talk some football. We talked a lot of Tigers over the last few weeks and throughout the summer. Obviously, their season is kind of so. It's
Hey, but they're on a 4-game win streak, and Javi Baez has figured out where the baseball is at in the strike zone. So, but we'll see how long that lasts.
how you been? Everything good?
I've been doing great, man. Just work and busy around the house, and kids and wife. They keep me pretty occupied and busy.
Still got a nice ring to it for you?
Yeah.
Wife, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, we're still going to keep this going. Everything's going good so far.
Perfect.
So anyways, let's
So okay, we haven't recorded since first preseason game. We're in training camp. Mm-hmm. Did you watch preseason, the first preseason game? Before we even get into the training camp and getting in breaking down this team, did you ever watch preseason?
I normally don't. But I did watch. I did watch a little bit last Thursday. We had some family over for Jackson's birthday, and we watched. I just had it on the background, so I was kind of watching and just seeing if there's anything I could pick up. And it's tough. It's really hard in preseason. You really just don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's the only thing I took from it. And
it seems like it's just a lot of guys that are just trying to make the scout team.
Yeah, or make the 3 deep or whatever.
Yeah, the third string lineup. Yeah, they're not. These aren't even second stringers, and definitely not first. I mean,
right.
I know. Terry and Arnold played a little bit.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him play. I know Rakestraw played a little bit. Who else out of the first stringers? I saw Broderick Martin. I know he might not be a first stringer. I don't know. Did Levi play? I
don't know.
Can't remember. I know. Like you said, Terry Arnold played, and I was surprised.
I didn't watch it. I listened to a little bit on the radio, but
yeah,
all I kept hearing was how Sudfeld couldn't do anything. So
yeah, he struggled, and Hooker struggled too until he kind of got into a little bit of a rhythm. He looked better than Sudfeld.
Well, then he goes and trucks that guy, and gets a concussion out of it.
Yeah, that was interesting. You could definitely tell he's trying to earn his spot, which is good for him. I was preseason's preseason. It's just get through it. Nobody gets hurt, and let's just get us to week 1. Yeah,
exactly. Let's go. I'm ready. Get the team. Get your 53-man squad together, and let's roll.
Yep. Yeah. Has there been? As far as like with the off season and stuff like that, like give me like a storyline or like something that's maybe caught your interest. And I know after that we'll get into the offensive and defensive players, but is there anything that's really like you're kind of excited for? Or?
I think it's really, and I think most people would agree with what we did last year with that young core. Gibbs, Laporta, Campbell, all those young guys that we drafted. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just really excited to see what their sophomore year is going to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's my story. What are the young guys going to do? These second year guys. Aiden, he's already proved himself.
Yep.
That's going to be. He'll be fine. But for me, my storyline is these second year guys, and then obviously. Can we repeat what we did last year and maybe go one step further?
We know what that means.
Yes. So that's kind of what do you think? What's your?
I'm definitely there too. These young guys, especially the guys that we just re-signed, like I liked, nailing down Goff and Amon-Ra and Sewell. I think that
boys got paid.
Yeah, they did all right. But I think they planned that out good. I like who. That's the foundation of the team. I'm happy about that. I guess the only thing that when I think about this team moving forward is just like stay healthy. I mean, luckily it's a deep team, so certain injuries I think they can overcome. But then there's, I mean, just like with any elite team, you there's one injury you cannot you can't afford to lose, and I think we know who that is.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so
And even man, you have that 16 go down, you're done.
yeah. So we got to keep him healthy. I'm really excited about this team.
That's most teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw Laporta went out for a game last year in St. Brown, and we still did okay, but
Yeah.
I mean, injuries.
That's going to happen.
That's for any team. I mean, if you get 2-3 injuries of your top players, it kind of puts your season to an end.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's real quick before we get into our offensive and defensive players. I do want to take us back a little bit. Take us back. Let's go back to the Patricia. That last year, Patricia. Think about this team. Think
That's
about
a
this
dud.
team. You're right. That is not a stud. Think about where that team was at, and think about where this team is at now, and how quickly they just completely gutted the culture and rebuilt it. Completely gutted and rebuilt this roster with mostly just draft, and then obviously some trades and this and that. But just think about how quickly this team really turned around and how well built it is now.
Well, this is what good teams do when they struggle. How quickly they turn around. Not 60 years to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Brad and Dan Campbell, but Brad Holmes came in, and this guy is just a genius in the draft. Mm-hmm. He's getting all these guys. I think he's only had like one guy that didn't pan out for us in the draft. I can't think of his name. I was just reading about this the other day.
Yeah, a lot of their draft picks are still on the team.
Right. But if you look back at like the early 2000s to the 2010s to, the Quinn and Patricia era, like a lot of those players aren't even in the league. It's not even like they left the Lions to go to a, greener grass of another team.
Yeah.
They're not even in the league anymore.
Right. And something I want to ask you really quick. Let me ask you, because we've been through a lot of different Lions regimes, and I think we can all agree that the Lions, like the kids coming out of college, especially early on in the draft, I mean, there's talented players. Now, do you think it was more or less the Lions just not being able to draft quality players, or do you think the Lions were drafting some talent, but they just could never develop them because the culture, the coaching staff sucked or whatever? I mean, what do you think it is? Or maybe it's all of the above.
I mean, I think it really, the answer is it's all the above. But when you go back to all these players that they drafted, in the Patricia and Quinn, if you look where we drafted, the guys that were drafted before or after, and I don't have the names at the top of my head, but we already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
The guy drafted before us and the guy drafted us, studs. Right? All pros, going to the Pro Bowl, on a good team, making their way, and then
Aaron Donald and Eric Ebron, for instance.
Yes, and then you see the guys we draft. So I think it's just they just missed the mark, right? Instead of trying to get what you wanted, they were always going for best available player, which is fine, and that's what we were able to do this year. But that's what good teams do, because you're like, let's just get another good player. It's not like we need to have this guy. We're already set here, so let's just go get the best available player.
Yeah.
So, and you see that year over year with these drafts, with the old Lions, is like, well, how come our guy didn't do anything, but the guy in front and behind him are having great careers? I just don't think I don't think we had the right personnel in there to really kind of scout these guys out properly.
Yeah.
I think you might, it probably comes to like some type of ego thing with, when you're a GM, like, because, I know scouts will bring, hey, we should draft this guy. Like, I don't want him. I'm going to go with this guy. Right? Because it's not, there's different opinions in there. I really think they just missed the mark. Because how does Brad Holmes come out and nail his first 3 drafts?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an interesting point. And I think with Holmes, like his first draft pick, and this is the most important. I probably said this on the show. The most important draft pick has been Penei Sewell.
Yes.
That was his first pick, because what that did was that solidified that offensive line, and then it also solidified the heart and soul of this team.
Yes.
The heart and soul of this team is within that offensive line, and it might be the best in the league. It's definitely balanced because they can run and throw, but it could be sequencing too, like how you draft guys and when you draft them, and then I don't know. So it's just something I was considering, but it's
nice to be where we are. It's an odd feeling. We've never felt this before. I mean, even when we went to the playoffs with Stafford was here, right? Like,
yeah.
It was exciting, but it was never. we knew we weren't any type of contender, right? Okay, we had a decent season, and then the next year you don't do anything again.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
it's a good feeling to have of like
For
we're
sure.
in this.
Oh,
right?
for
We
sure.
are one of the top teams.
We have one of the top rosters in the league, top to bottom. We have not been able to ever say that. I mean, maybe in the early '90s we could have said that,
right.
You know, back in the Chris Spielman, Benny Blades, and Barry Sanders days.
So I got some. This was from the other week, and I just want to run through this. And I know we're gonna start doing our own power rankings as the season goes on.
Yep.
You know, our opinions, but I was looking at this, and this just blows my mind because we've never been here. So I got a couple different ones, right? So Fox Sports has Detroit number 3, the third best team in the league.
in the NFL,
in the
not
NFL.
just AFC or NFC.
No,
Okay, NFL. Okay, number three.
Because number 1 was KC and number
Sure.
2 was the 49ers.
Sure.
That's how most of these lists go. But
Sure.
number 3, that's crazy.
I know.
Yahoo Sports had us at number 2.
Wow.
They had us above San Francisco. Bleacher Report number 3, NFL.com, they had us at number 4. Pro Football Talk number 3, ESPN number 4, right? And the teams that were in front of us or around, it was KC, San Fran, and Baltimore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we pretty much average at the third best team. And I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I think
no.
Kansas City, obviously back-to-back Super Bowl champions, they're going for a three-peat. They
They have the
a
best
hell of a team.
quarterback, arguably, other than like Tom Brady to ever play the game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then
so
and
every
San
time you have a
Fran,
chance.
they're stacked too.
Yeah.
Right? They're a good team.
The only thing with San Fran, I just have this feeling with them that, like I was kind of joking around with a buddy at work. I was like, are they going to be the Buffalo Bills of the current era? Because
Oh, right, yeah.
Are they like they've been there so many times? They're so close. They're so talented. But at some point, time's going to run out. Kittle's not that young. McCaffrey's had injury problems.
all the time. He's
You know,
hurt
they got
every
the
year.
situation with Ayuk going on.
Yeah.
You know, Debo Samuel. I mean, he has not
No.
played a whole
He's
season.
been- yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like, I don't know. I just
Okay,
have this feeling.
Ayuk, would you call up San Francisco and ask what they want for him?
As
For the Lions. For the Lions. Would you call them up and see, is that something that you would do? Is it something you think the Lions should do?
I don't know, because I know like the Lions are really struggling trying to find that number 3 receiver.
And remember, we have $30 million in cap space.
Yeah.
So we have money to spend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only I guess not knowing the whole, you know, salary cap situation. I know we're under it right now, but I know we need to pay Hutch. You know, Laporta, Gibbs, and
I mean, we got about 3-4 years till
Yeah.
those guys need to get paid. And yeah, Gibbs, love him to death, but is a running
He's
back.
probably not going to, but no, I mean, there's going to be other guys that they've drafted that they're going to want to pay. So I can't, you know, do they pay Jameson Williams at some point? I guess it's going to depend unless Ayuk
But
came
what's
in
this
and took.
do? So now J-Mo gets bumped down to third, right?
Yeah.
Because Ayuk's not going to come here and be a number 1 or number 3 receiver. Him and St. Brown will be battling out for number 1.
Right. No, yeah, you'd have 2 stud receivers. I don't see the Lions doing it. They just do not seem like that team.
I don't think we should do it. I don't think that we need. I mean, it'd be great to have him. Mm-hmm. But he wants out of San Francisco because he wants more money. Well, we just paid St. Brown. We're going to bring in 2.
Yeah, I don't think the
and
Lions
he's
can do
probably
it,
going to
yeah.
want just as much or close to St. Brown.
St. Brown was the floor of that. Like everybody's gonna want to go over that. Like the CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, he wants more than what Amon-Ra got. All these
But
guys
the Lions
want more.
are so smart about it because you want to be the first franchise to pay because then everybody
they all
goes up. If we
follow
would have
suit,
waited
yeah.
another month, well, St. Brown, we would have had to pay more money.
Absolutely. Yep. No, they.
No,
they
I
handle
don't
that
think we
situation.
bring in. I don't even think you make the phone call.
I don't-
wouldn't
yeah,
even
I
pick
don't
up
even
the
think you bother.
because because I know Pittsburgh, the Patriots, they were one of the top teams to get into it.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
talking what, a first and second round pick or a
Yeah,
first and
that's just-
third.
no.
And it's like I don't think we need it. And I know everyone's concern is the wide receiver because we only have a 1 and a 2, and we don't even know what J-Mo's capable of yet.
But we also.
But you have
yeah.
Laporta, you have Gibbs, you have Montgomery.
Exactly.
Right? We have all these other weapons. We have our third receiver is like our 6th option on the field.
Yeah, that would be like just like you have a Ferrari, and then you're like, all right, can I install nitrous on it? Is that cool? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, no, you don't need nitrous on your Ferrari. Your Ferrari's already a freaking highly tuned V12. You know what I mean? Just let it fucking, let it eat.
Yeah.
No, I agree. The Lions are offensively. It's so funny to dive into this because you look at them offensively. They're probably the top 5 offense in the league, and they're very balanced.
Yeah.
Between running and passing, it's just like it's fine. We're fine.
And our receivers can be running backs, and our running backs can be receivers.
They're all versatile. I think that's a Brad Holmes
he's going to
thing.
be doing,
his little end arounds and stuff
end
like
around.
that. Yeah.
St. Brown can do the same thing.
He can block.
And then you can send out Montgomery or Gibbs out into the field. I mean, they're very versatile, and it's
I don't even think it's
a great problem to have. So I don't think we need to go. I do think we need to solidify that wide receiver number 3. I think as of right now, it's going to be Khalif Raymond.
Yeah.
Obviously, that could change with these position battles going on. But
I'm surprised Donovan Peoples-Jones hasn't locked into that wide receiver 3 position. I know they're high on this Doris Fountain guy. I think he's undrafted. And then Khalif Raymond has proved to be, but he seems like he's more of like your specialist, like a punt returner, kick returner maybe, or a 4th receiver.
I don't think Peoples-Jones. I don't think he's got it anymore.
It doesn't seem like he did have one really good year in Cleveland, but even in Michigan, he always felt like, okay, there's something more with this guy, but you just never get it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a shame, but yeah. All right. Anyways, let's get into our offensive and defensive players that we're most excited for. Why don't you lead us off?
Okay, so my offensive player. This is who I'm excited to see. We're kind of getting into it, but I'm really excited for Jameson Williams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
My thought is because first year he didn't do much. I mean, 2 catches, 3 catches. I know he was injured. He comes out after the suspension last year. He only gets 24 receptions. I don't want to say I was upset. Maybe frustrated is the right word with our coaching and personnel, why they didn't give him more opportunities. I mean, the guy is extremely fast. I mean, we saw that last year when he got the ball. I always like, why won't they give him more opportunity, right? And so I'm not blaming him for anything. I want to see more. So this year, I'm excited for Jameson to come in, lock down that number 2 spot.
Yeah.
Like last year, he had 24 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and 354 yards. I want to double those numbers.
Sure.
Because like St. Brown I think he had 113 catches or something like that.
Yep.
I'm not expecting J-Mo to get there, but double all those numbers, right? Give me 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. Give me 600-700 yards and close to 50 receptions.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we will really start to see him become who he is. Whether or not it's good, great, or it is what it is.
Jameson is an easy pick just because of there's so much talent there and there's so much there that he can contribute. And I remember that play in the NFC Championship game where he took that end around. I'm like, and that was like to me, in my opinion, that was the best play of his career, other than like that catch he had against the Bucs game that we were at.
We were there. We saw that one.
We saw that one. And I'm like, okay, this is why they drafted this guy.
Exactly.
To be able to do this type of stuff.
So
and
I want to see it more. You know who he reminds me of? And he's not there yet because we haven't seen enough. He reminds me of Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel kind of does all those running back, receiver, fast as hell. So he's kind of reminding me of that. So I want to see if he can become that.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see from him, like what you saw last year from him, but maybe elevated a little bit. I like St. Brown is going to be your possession guy. He's going to get you from the 20s to the 20s, and then once you get in the red zone, it's going to be a mix of Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery.
Yeah.
And then, but I do think there's going to be on occasions where where they're going to take a shot. Maybe they're at the 40 and they're going to take a shot downfield and hoping J-Mo just burns you. You know what I mean? Or he takes the end around. I think that's what you're going to see from him. He's not going to like out catch or out receiving yards Amon-Ra St. Brown.
No.
But like you said, if he can get 600 to 800 and he has some like big plays in there where like you just completely catch a defense off guard, then I think you succeeded in using him. I think they were just trying to get comfortable with him. Like they weren't confident in him yet, and I think they're getting there now.
Well, and that's what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah. And
so, who's your offensive guy that you're looking forward to?
Well, I mean, it's this is kind of funny. I mean, Amon Ra is my favorite player on the team, but anytime Jahmyr Gibbs is in the backfield, I'm just like that guy who's rubbing his hands together,
Yeah.
he's licking his lips. You know what I mean? Like
And St.
anytime-
Brown is kind of, I looked at it like, obviously we're all excited. Like, I got my list of people. I'm like, well, of course I want everyone to improve and do better. But like, J-Mo's because we haven't seen anything. St. Brown, he already is who he is. He's one of the best receivers in the league. Like,
for
obviously
sure.
we're excited to see him.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, like, I mean, I'll never forget that first play of the game last year, or his first carry last year, where he bouncing off all those Kansas City Chiefs. Like, all right, this guy's got it, and he's delivered. I'm
Absolutely.
really excited about him. I think he's gonna have a great year. Just stay healthy, please.
I
But
mean,
no,
Gibbs
I
had
love Gibbs.
945 yards last year.
For a rookie, he missed a couple games. I mean, like, what else can you expect? He had a couple hundred yards receiving. He can do it all.
Absolutely. I was looking at we almost had 4 players at 1,000 yards. That would have been the first time in NFL history.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gibbs was 55 yards away from it.
Wow,
And in Montgomery and St. Brown, they were over 1,000, and Laporta was 111 yards away from
that's
it.
amazing. It really is.
That's insane.
That's balance, man.
That is balance.
Well,
Yes.
also too, look at all right. How many touchdowns did they all have? Gibbs had-
okay,
you-
so the 4 main, Gibbs,
Yeah.
Montgomery, St. Brown, Laporta,
They're all over 10.
all had over 10. Montgomery had 13.
Yeah,
That
That's
is
amazing.
a balanced offense. It's
Yeah.
not 20 here and 2 here.
no, nope.
And all their yardage is, I mean, it's obviously St. Brown, over 1,500 yards. I mean, the guy's a stud.
Yeah, no, I think. I think like looking at your list here too. I think Laporta could even be on that list too. And but yeah, no, yeah, I'm really excited for Gibbs.
I
think
went
this is
back
gonna
and
be great.
forth with J-Mo and Laporta, but what I took into consideration, Laporta already had a great season last year.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of those guys can come out and just do the exact same thing that they did last year as far as your stats go,
Yeah,
then we have nothing to complain
no,
about.
nothing, absolutely
Right?
not.
So
yeah.
J-Mo, let's get. Now I understand J-Mo going up. It's gonna take some of the yardage away again from the other guys.
Yep.
But if you can average, even if all of them average, I mean, St. Brown's gonna get over 1,000 yards, hands down. But if you get all those other, if everybody is averaging 800-900 yards, that's insane.
That's for sure, for sure. It's not out of the realm of possibility for them all to get, over 1,000 yards, whether it's receiving or rushing. It's really not.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's exciting. All right, how about your
My defensive guy.
yeah? Give me your defensive guy.
So along the same lines, second-year player. Want to see what I'm looking for out of him is so J-Mo was let me see more production. This guy, I want to see him take over the leadership of the defense, and that's Jack Campbell.
Yeah,
I know Anzalone kind of is running that defense right now. He's the veteran. Everybody looks up to him. I'm not taking anything away from Anzalone, but Jack Campbell is the future of this team.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for him to take up that leadership role, be the captain of the defense. He had good numbers last year, but it's really like I'm just want to see him improve more on that leadership, get in there. If I have to talk about his game, I'd like to see him get after the backfield a little bit more. And this isn't just on Campbell. It's our linebackers as a whole. We were very weak with getting sacks and getting into the backfield. We had like 41 sacks last year. I think that ranked us in like the 20s of the rest of the league.
Yeah.
So just in general, I want to see more sacks, get it, because that was one of my biggest. I know I'm getting off here a little bit, but that was one of my biggest concerns last year. Is we couldn't frickin' tackle anybody.
Yeah.
How many times we just let guys slip away from us? So like wrap them up.
Yeah, I think the
take 'em
linebackers
down.
struggled, especially with tight ends and coverage
Exactly.
last year.
So I think that's why like our sack numbers and tackles for losses were lower last year, even though our defense up front was pretty good. Mm-hmm. So, but Jack Campbell, increase his numbers a little bit, maybe get a couple more sacks, but really take over, make that his defense.
Yeah, I was high on Jack Campbell when they drafted him. I remember watching him at Iowa.
Yeah.
And the one game I really watched him a lot was when they played against Ohio State. And obviously Ohio State, Iowa, the talent is, it leans heavily to one side. And I just remember watching him. I'm like, okay, this guy is the best player on the field right now. And I remember when we drafted him, I was super excited. I just this guy's got it. He's athletic. He's quick. But you could tell there were some struggles early on in the season last year. I think it was just probably picking up on gaps and coverages and just understanding the pro game, the speed of the game. But it sounds like from everything that I'm hearing is that he's really taking on that that head linebacker position. It's hard to say because the Lions, they don't necessarily use like a traditional 3 linebacker set. It's usually
Right.
2 linebackers and so it'd be Anzalone and Campbell. So it's just, you don't want to say like middle linebacker. What they call it, off the ball linebacker or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I have high hopes for him too, and I think that's a great pick. And he was second in the team in tackles last year. He's athletic as hell. I mean, like he can move. I think he's just got to
Yeah. I don't
figure the game
that's why
out
I was.
more.
It's not necessarily. Obviously, I want to see his stats go up, get a couple more tackles and sacks and stuff. But
Yeah.
it wasn't that. It was more that leadership. But
Yeah, I think he's got it. I like him a lot.
and this linebacker crew is amazing. I was listening to this interview with Derek Barnes, and he's like, "We're all starters. We may not start. No one cares if they're out there for the opening snap because you have 4 guys that are out there at any given time that are going to be playing, and that's a good thing to have on this team.
For sure. Yeah, no, you need depth because there's always going to be injuries, and you got to keep guys fresh and stuff. And they. I look for the linebacking crew to have a major impact, and I think or a major upgrade this year, and it's mainly because of Jack Campbell.
Yes.
So.
All right, who's yours? What do you got? Who's your defensive player?
I'm really excited by our second round pick. Is it Ennis Rekestra? How do you say his name? I think it's Ennis Rekestra.
Rakestraw? I think that's how it is.
Yeah, I'm really excited about him. He just kind of seems like one of those guys that just puts his head down, but he's going to work. He's physical. He was a stud at
Stud.
He was a stud at Missouri, and I'm just really excited about him. It seems like they got a lot of depth now at the in the secondary, which is something they have not had. But I'm looking for this guy to make an impact. I don't know if he's going to be a starter this year. I mean, actually, he probably isn't. Terrion Arnold will be a starter, and then opposite of him will be Carlton Davis, and then Amir Robinson, and then Rekestra will come in.
But he's going to get his playing time.
He's going to play a lot, and I'm really excited about him. So
he's going to get and I think obviously anytime you draft your rookies, you're always excited to see what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. But I look at it now as not only is I'm excited to see who the new guy is on the team, but this is now the 4th year. Brad Holmes going out, doing his thing, and we're seeing what he's doing with all these rookies. So it makes it even more exciting. Like, all right, let's see what kind of stud you brought in this year.
Yeah, because you have a lot of confidence in how they're developing these guys and drafting and then developing.
Right. I mean, last year, obviously, we had, Laporta coming in and Gibbs and Jack Campbell. You didn't know that all of them were going to go off. I mean, they all went off last year, and that was just insane. So I think moving into this year, like, all right, what's Terrion Arnold going to do? What's Rakestraw going to do?
Yep.
Like, I can't wait to see what kind of numbers these guys put up and what they do on the field.
They sure like the Bama
especially
guys.
Defense,
the Bama or the SEC guys.
Yeah, and defense is tough. You can't always look at numbers because they do a lot of off the ball things that can make an impact. So it'll be nice to see.
For sure. Yeah, let's there's a lot of new faces on the team, especially on the defensive side. That it's going to be exciting to see what they do. Especially these first couple weeks. I mean, the first game they got those good old Rams. So
Stafford's come. Rams are here, right? Yeah.
Yes. Let's get into our.
Okay, so what we're gonna do our predictions, but we're not gonna go through the whole season right now. Yep. We're gonna take 4 or 5 games a week leading up to week 1.
Yep.
And I give slight breakdown of the game.
Yep.
And what we think is gonna happen.
Yep.
And so let's go. Let's see it. We're gonna do week 1 through 4. We're gonna take us up to the bye week.
Yep. Yeah, so the week 1 we got the Sunday Night Football. We got the Rams at the Lions, rematch of the divisional round with the is that the no, I'm sorry. That'd be the wild card round. Right?
It was a wild card round. Yes.
My bad. So we got a rematch of that. Go ahead, give me your prediction, Mike. What do you think?
You're gonna make me go first. Okay.
Go first.
We're going to lose that game. Oh, boo. Boo me. Oh, how could you? No, I think Stafford's going to come here. I think he's going to get his revenge against us. I think it's the first week. We might be shaking off a little bit of rust. I know, had some injuries, could, have been kind of coming up in training camp, nothing serious, but I don't know. I just have a feeling. Trust me, 17-0 is what I want to happen. But let's be
Don't we
real.
all?
It's not going to happen.
20
right?
and 0. We want 20 and 0.
We want 20-0. Yes, that is correct.
Actually, that would be at 19 and 0 if we went. Yeah, 20 and 0.
20 and 0.
I'm sorry.
20 and 0.
20 and 0.
Yeah. 20 and 0 would be perfect. But, I mean, a perfect season, it's not going to happen. It's going to suck coming out in week 1, but it's a loss for me, unfortunately.
All right.
So what do you got?
Yeah, I got them losing this one too. The only thing is, when I did this, when I did my prediction, I think I did it a week or so ago, and now I'm hearing like on the Rams side, Stafford's dealing with a hamstring. Jonah Jackson, I think, is out. You know, I don't know if that matters, and I mean, obviously Stafford matters, but I'm sure he'll play.
I mean, yeah, that could change. I mean, if you're not getting all these guys playing, then
Yeah.
definitely give us the W there.
But I guess if we're looking at it just the team with the team, I'm going to probably give it to the edge of the Rams. I think the Lions are going to come up sloppy. They got a lot of young guys who are going to be playing that defense.
You know, it's
I think
almost
they're
going to be one of those on this high. And I know momentum doesn't go from one season to another, but, you know, they're going to come out and be like, all right, we're a Super Bowl contender, and then just kind of trip over their own feet.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, shit, we got to get this together.
Yeah. I think it could be like a wake-up game for them because, yeah, it's going to be a good game, but I don't see them winning that game. So
That's all right. All right, week 2. What do we got? The Bucks?
we got the Buccaneers at the Lions, home,
Yeah.
1 o'clock game.
This one's easy, Bert. Dub.
Yeah.
That's a dub.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's not going to come in here and do anything. We went down there last year. We beat him up. We beat him up
We beat them up in the playoffs. too.
playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, probably a good game, but I just don't see the Bucks get us. And we're going to come off a week 1 loss. You better watch out, Bucks.
Oh yeah, yep, I agree. I got them winning that game too. I don't even know if it's going to be one of those games that's close either because I don't anticipate the Bucks being that good this year. I think they'll take a step back.
And Carlton Davis is going to want to put a hurt on his old team.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. I forgot about that. Yeah, so yeah, the easy win.
Yes.
So, all right, following week, we got week 3. We got the Lions at the Cards.
Well, guess who else is going to be at the Cards?
We will be there.
We will be there.
We will be at the game.
All of us will be there.
Yep.
We're gonna. I'm gonna try to make it happen where we could do an episode from Arizona.
That'd be fun.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. Sit by the pool, do an episode, do a mics
Get
on
the
the
whole
mics
crew
right
involved.
before the game. Yeah, get everybody to join in here or there.
Yep.
I think it'll be good, but this one's this one was hard to actually think about without it knowing that, or like not thinking about me being at the game.
Yeah.
But it's a W again. We're gonna get the win. The Cards are not a good team. I don't see them. I think they'll be better this year. I think Murray's back. So they'll be better than they were last year. But I don't think Detroit. Our fans are gonna make a difference at this game.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a home game.
Sure.
Because Florida, Arizona, you get a lot of Midwesterners, you get a lot of Michiganders that go down there.
Yeah.
We're gonna travel well. I know when I was trying to book the place there, I mean, all the houses were flying off Airbnb, and I'm like, Detroit has already took up this whole city, right? That's the only reason anyone's going September 22nd.
Is this
to
Michigan's
game.
Western Peninsula?
Yeah.
We already got Florida's our Southern Peninsula.
So I think this game is going to be so similar to the Tampa Bay game where we're going to get there, and it's just going to be blue
could be
everywhere.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. You know what? I think the Cardinals are going to be a lot better, and I think this could be a really good game. I do think the Lions are going to win. The Lions always play well indoors, especially Goff. Cardinals will be better. They're going to have Murray. They're going to have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that's where he went.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be. They could be a pain in the ass. The Cardinals could be.
I'm not saying the Lions are going to go in on a blowout.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be. I mean, it's the NFL. Even bad teams give you close games. I mean,
For sure.
not to get too far off track, but even when the Lions were bad, right? We're only winning 3 games. But yeah, one of those games, we go and beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, right? You went and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Or, you go beat one of the best teams, and then you lose all your other games. So
yeah.
it's the NFL. Anybody can
happen.
beat anybody at any time,
For sure.
no matter how good or bad you are.
For sure. Yeah, That'll be a fun one, though. I do believe that's gonna be a good game, but I do anticipate the Lions coming out on top of that one. All right, so we got week 4.
Monday night game, right?
Yeah, we got a Monday night game. Yep. Seahawks at the Lions. What are you thinking?
We're finally gonna beat these guys.
Oh, dude.
I know. Another win. I think we're gonna start the season off 3-1. I think that's a solid start. That's pretty much what we did last year too, right? 3-1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited for the Seattle game because we lost to them the last 2 times.
Yep.
I really thought for a while Seattle was going to be kind of moving up like Detroit was. Mm-hmm. They seem to have been doing really well.
Yeah.
I don't think Geno Smith is the answer. I think he had a couple good years. I just think they kind of obviously took a huge step back last year. They were a favorite to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Didn't even make it. They fell off. They did not have a good season. They did get the win against us last year. Mm-hmm. But I think we're finally going to be able to go out there and get it. I think it's our turn now.
Yeah, I agree. We'll win that game, and honestly, I don't even know if this one will be close, just because, the Seahawks, they fired Pete Carroll, which I think was a mistake.
But didn't he's still in the?
He's still.
He's like one of those assistant.
Yeah,
where they make up a
assistant to the
title
GM,
for him
yeah.
to stay in the organization.
So in comes in Mike McDonald. He was the Ravens D coordinator the last 2 years, and he was also Michigan's D coordinator the first year they beat Ohio State, and God knows how long. I just think they're going to struggle. I mean, Geno Smith, he's not the long-term answer at quarterback. He's good. He's a decent quarterback, but I don't look at the Seahawks as being a threat this year, and I think the Lions are going to take it to them, and I think they're going to win big.
Yeah, and he's not taking them to a Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks are down. I don't know what I was thinking they were like on this upward trend.
Well, I think I just think it was a mistake letting Carroll go. I get it. Sometimes you need to make a change, but he's a good coach. I don't know. I don't know if it was the right move. That's just in my opinion. So.
All right, so we got the Lions going 3-1.
Both of us got them going 3-1.
I think that's a solid start to the season.
I'll take it.
By week 4, we'll have all calmed down from the week 1 loss.
Yep.
Because you're going through it. It's like, okay, well, I know we're gonna have losses. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
But and it's hard to pick, right? We may not get any of this right. We may still start 3-1 and lose a different game here. And
they might be 0-4. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
They're not going to be 0-4.
No.
They're not going to be 0-4.
So one last thing I want to talk to you about before we go on this one. I really want to know what your opinion is on this. Are we, and I have a quote to read from Dan Campbell after this before you answer. It says, so are we a Super Bowl or bust team? Mm-hmm. Campbell, they asked this to Campbell. And where was that? Oh, sorry, I had the quote. So forgive me if I don't get the quote right. But is this season as a season? Are you guys Super Bowl bust? And he's like, I don't know what bust means. Like, what do you mean? He's like, we're a good team, right? Along these lines. Right?
Yeah.
I don't have the exact quote in front of me anymore, but that's kind of what he was getting.
He was
at.
basically saying, I think he said something like, it's just like, that's our goal. That's
obviously the goal is to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Obviously the goal is to win the Super Bowl. But
Yep.
if we don't win the Super Bowl, is it really a bust? So what's your opinion? Are we a Super Bowl or bust team? Is it a failure of a season if we don't win at all?
No,
or
it's not.
If we don't go?
No, it's not. I mean, when it gets to it, let's say the Lions are in the NFC title game again and they lose like they did last year, is it going to be disappointing? Absolutely. I think the only way you can say the season is a bust is if like they come out and they don't win the division or they lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the only way you can say that the season's a bust. If they go and make it to the Super Bowl and they lose, it's not a bust. They're NFC champions and they're more than likely divisional champions. If they go out and win a couple more playoff games and repeat what they did last year, I still don't think that's a bust. It's disappointing in the moment, but it's not a bust.
Okay. Yeah.
If it repeats, if this keeps repeating, then yeah,
the 49ers bust.
Yeah, they're Super Bowl. They need to win the Super Bowl.
I completely agree, right? I think the goal is the Super Bowl now. We're actual contenders. Mm-hmm. It's something we can actually consider and talk about right now.
Yep.
But if we go out and do the same thing last year, just like, no, it's not. We fell short. It's not a failure. what I want to say about this is last year, we weren't even a team. We wanted to just win a division and win one playoff game last year.
Yeah.
Now, I know we got to the NFC Championship, but we were not a Super Bowl contender. Our window wasn't even open yet. We pried our window open last year at the end of the season.
Yeah, we did.
To get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was not what we were even focused on.
Right.
Now we're in our window, right? The window is open for us to go do something so amazing for this city, right? And try to go get a Super Bowl. So I don't think it's a bust. I agree. First round, you're out. Yeah, that might be a failure of a season, but you make it to, if we did the exact same thing we did last year, it's not a bust. I also don't think we're there yet as a team because we only done it once. We only went to the NFC Championship last year. Got to show some more. San Francisco, they're a Super Bowl or bust team.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs are a Super Bowl or bust team. And I honestly think those are probably the only two teams in the league that can be at a Super Bowl or bust.
I think Baltimore is getting there too.
Baltimore's getting here, but they're failing. I mean, I understand they're having failure of seasons, but it's also like you're not even getting to. So maybe those three teams. We can go with that, but it's tough. We're not there. Now, we keep doing what we're doing, and in 3 years, maybe even next year or the year after, now we're Super Bowl or bust team. Because how many times, just like the 49ers, how many times you going to make it to the NFC Championship? How many times you going to make it to the Super Bowl and lose? You got to get it done.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I would agree there.
So not a Super Bowl bust team, but we are centered on getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the goal is Super Bowl, but
Which is so crazy to talk about.
I know.
I don't understand how we are here.
We've
It's
never ever been in a position where we're like this.
Such new territory.
Yeah. Like we're like it's like this is the talk, and a lot of people are picking us to potentially be that Super Bowl representation for the NFC, and it's fun, man. It's fun.
It is fun. I can't wait. Let's get this season going.
That's it, baby. All right, let's
Good
wrap this
episode.
episode up. Yeah, I like that one. That was a fun one.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Yep.
You can go ahead and make fun of us on our social media for
please.
having the Lions lose to Stafford, but
Please.
that's all right. Thanks for listening. We love all you guys.
Cheers.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Yep.
Night.
Thank you.